All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to NHBSR's Measure What Matters webinar, Fit on the Farm, Healthy Workplace Program Ideas for All. I'm Michelle Veazey, Executive Director of NHBSR. It's great to have so many of you joining us today to learn how you can take your sustainability efforts to the next level. As many of you know, NHBSR is a statewide nonprofit with just under 200 members focused on advancing sustainable business. Our programming strives to convene, inspire, and support you, our businesses, and your community stakeholders to make New Hampshire a more sustainable and prosperous state for all. Measure What Matters is the newest addition to NHBSR's programming, and we're enjoying the opportunity to engage more deeply with members to learn where we can add value to your sustainability efforts. Measure What Matters is a multifaceted program designed to not only help you measure your sustainability progress, but also share insights and expertise with actionable webinars like this one, workshops, connections, and tools. Also, if you haven't taken it already, we invite you to complete our Measure What Matters 101 survey. It's a succinct tool allowing you to gauge progress and find opportunities. You can access the 20-question survey at nhbsr.org/MWM. I want to share just a few quick logistics. The webinar will be approximately 30 minutes long. All attendees' audio will be muted so that we do not broadcast background noise to one another. You can ask questions by using the webinar control panel. Click on the Q&A tab and type in your question at any point during the presentation. Most of the questions will be answered at the conclusion. If you're having a technical issue or would like clarification, you can use the chat window to send questions to Molly or myself. The webinar is being recorded and a link will be provided to you in the follow-up email tomorrow. So now I'm happy to introduce our presenters, the Stonyfield Motivators, Chris Roberge and Ashley Sifkin. Chris is the Master Data Manager at Stonyfield. She's been part of the team for nearly 30 years. Prior to her current role, Chris gained extensive experience in sales, customer services, and trade promotion. Chris also leads Stonyfield's wellness team. Ashley has served as an HR programs analyst at Stonyfield for 6 years. Before Stonyfield, she was a benefits specialist for Danone North America and a human resource coordinator for Pleasant Valley Nursing Center in Derry, New Hampshire. Ashley has been a part of Stonyfield's wellness team for the past 3 years. Now I'm happy to hand over the presentation to Chris and Ashley. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ashley.
And we want to welcome you all here. We are excited to be able to share with you today. As mentioned, we are here to share our wellness program, what we're doing here at Stonyfield, and we hope to motivate you all to either start your own programs or maybe enhance programs that you have going already.
So first we want to start off about why do we care about wellness. So we'll talk about a little bit about our mission, our wellness team mission, and then the connection with B Corp. So I won't be reading things off the entire time, but just the first little blurb here. So Stonyfield cares about wellness because it's part of who we are. Stonyfield's mission focuses on healthy food, people, business, and planet. But with our wellness mission, we took an approach of explaining how wellness falls into those 4 healthies. We're all about fostering a culture that embraces wellness, safety, and promotes healthy lifestyles. The connection between B Corp and both of our missions is directly in our mission statements themselves. The Stonyfield Wellness Team is about getting our employees involved in as many wellness activities as possible, even if they try it just once. This has been part of Stonyfield's DNA even before we became B Corp certified. So we strive to meet those 4 healthies constantly. And we are happy to share our wellness vision and mission statement as well with you guys.
And that will be available on the link with tomorrow's email. So we want to start by talking about defining the success. And what does success look like to you? And we want to call out that success may look different at different companies, and it probably will, and it definitely looks different at different events. So you want to take a look at that. We're going to start with talking about a team. So our team is HR supported, but not HR led, and we feel that that's really important. We have employees and a leader, an employee leader, driving areas that we're passionate about. And I think that for us, we just feel like having it employee led makes it feel different. But I do want to call out that our team was started by HR and it evolved into what it is today. So take that for what you want to get out of it, as far as where you want to start, but where you want to end up as well. Connection is really important. We have a 24/7 operation here, which may or may not be the same for you, but either way, you are going to want to try and reach employees across your organization with whatever schedules you have. And recognize that you're going to do your best to try and reach all of those people, and it won't always work out. Inevitably, someone is going to complain, and that's okay. So just do your best to try and reach everyone. And one of the ways that we suggest is to try and have some flexible events. An example that we have is our basketball tournament, which is a very popular event that we have each year. And the schedule for the basketball tournament is actually created by the participants. So they schedule their games when they want to, and that way people from different shifts are able to participate. Awareness, we like to connect our events to monthly health awareness calendars. Some examples are High Blood Pressure Awareness Month. We have a blood pressure screening during that month, and we participate in the American Heart Association National Walking Day.
Then we have communication. So communication is key. As Chris mentioned, we are a 24/7 operation, so communication can be tough. Not everybody is on the same communication platforms as one another. So we do a few different ways of communicating with our employees. We have email, so we have a wellness team email address, so all of our employees will get an internal communication about what's going on via email. We also have monitors that are out in different locations of our building, so employees can look on the monitors and see the different events going on. And then we also have certain areas in our building where we post flyers about the different events going on. So there's many different ways that our employees can see the communication throughout the building. Support. So support is a big one. I think everybody needs leadership buy-in. So having the support of your leadership team is very important, as well as budget. So a lot of the events that we do actually don't cost any money. If we choose to, a lot of it might be raffle prizes. Depending on the event that you plan to do, there might be some cost, but a lot of the events that we have don't actually cost anything. And then additional purposes, so incorporating charitable giving. So as Chris mentioned before, we have basketball tournaments, and as part of that, we added in that if you want to have a few extra points before you start the tournament, you can bring in food bank donations. So canned goods, just by bringing some of those in, you already add additional points to your team for that. We do the same thing for our pool tournaments as well. And then another thing that we do is we bring some of our yogurt to recovery centers during National Recovery Month.
So I mentioned that success might look different to you. So we want to make sure that you understand success can be measured in multiple ways. We have some Zumba classes that we offer here. Success for a Zumba class is going to look very different than the success for the basketball tournament I mentioned. We're going to have different people that are participating. We're going to definitely have a different number of people participating, but each of those are successful and we measure them differently. I personally want to call out, sometimes it doesn't need to be measured at all. Just claim the success. If you have an event and you're like, hey, I think this is successful, just claim it and go with it. No measurement needed. So we decided to share some ideas with you of some of the events that we are doing here at Stonyfield, either currently or that we've done in the past. So we wanted to start with the category of on-site and ongoing initiatives that we do. It is important to have these kinds of initiatives because it keeps wellness visible. They don't require a lot of work, but it keeps us in the forefront. We partnered with local businesses to bring massage and chiropractic on site, and they're here once a week for us. The employees are responsible for the costs for these services. However, we do give them the information about how they can use insurance and or their FSA funds to cover their chiropractic care. We also have a nutritional counselor that comes in once a week, and actually for those people who are on Stonyfield insurance, her services are covered 100%. And other people just need to check in with their insurance to see whether or not that's covered. So again, it's something that doesn't cost us money at all, but we offer it to our employees. We do have a dedicated room for these services, so that is something that we might encourage you to see if you can do for yourselves. It is small, but it works. So, you know, you don't have to have any kind of elaborate room in order to make this happen. In addition to that room, we do have a small exercise area right at our facility. It has 2 treadmills, an elliptical, a recumbent bike, and some hand weights. That does have some upfront costs for you, but you might be able to work with your local gym to get a deal on some of their used machines if that's something that you wanted to look into. This area for us is really, it's used quite frequently. In addition to that, we do have gym reimbursement through our insurance, so that might be something that you offer. And we have a gym membership to a local facility nearby our offices. So there's different options for different budgets. And another option that is absolutely free is to be a smoke-free environment. Create a policy. Here you go. There's nothing else to do except to create that policy, and it doesn't cost anything. This can actually be even better if you or your insurance offers smoking cessation options to go along with creating that policy for you. We offer a CSA, and we actually also offer using payroll deduction for payment of that CSA. So it's a little bit extra work for HR. Thank you very much to our HR folks. But as far as costs to the company, there aren't any. And another one that's also free and really easy and very fun to do is that we have our Healthy Thoughts. And this is something that's posted on a monitor in the cafeteria, and it gets changed monthly, and it's just what it's called. It's a healthy thought, a quote that we put up there every month that has healthy thoughts brought to you by your wellness team.
And then we also have annual look forward to initiatives. So just kind of being creative, think of different ideas, things that you can bring on site, things that don't cost a lot of money. You'll be surprised if you look out there, there's quite a few things that will actually come right on site to you, and it's not going to cost you any money. So some of those examples, as we mentioned, the basketball tournament, we mentioned it a few times because it's a really popular one. We have the 2-on-2 basketball tournament. We have road races throughout the year. So for our road races, we do have a partnership with Millennium Running and Loco Running. And so they do provide us comps to certain races throughout the year. So we do encourage our employees to sign up. They get to run the races for free. But if that's not an option for you, another thing is the picture there you see is we had over about 30 to 40 of our employees sign up for the Sigma 5K this year. Stonyfield did pay the cost for all of our employees. It's once a year. It wasn't that big of a cost, and it really brought everybody together at the event. Blood pressure screenings, so we have those on site during High Blood Pressure Awareness Month, and then our flu shot clinics we host on site here in the fall. The American Heart Association, we have National Walking Day. So during that month, or we pick the one day during the month, and we set up a schedule. We'll have a few people running it that will take some employees out for a walk. It doesn't have to be very far. If somebody only has a 10 to 15-minute break, they can do that. Or if somebody wants to take a full half an hour and go a little bit further, they can do that as well. And we kind of range it different shifts as well. So we'll have, doing it even at 6:30 at night. So our night shift people can participate in that as well. And we have a blood drive on site. So the bus comes here. Employees sign up ahead of time with the American Red Cross. We help provide, you know, snacks and drinks for employees and some of the local businesses nearby that will come and donate their blood. And then one that we really love is our Stonyfield 5K. So the Stonyfield 5K is in Londonderry each year. Our employees get to run or walk the race for free, and there's a huge fair after. So even if they don't want to run it or walk it, they can still participate in many different ways. But just creating these different events really gets people involved.
Our next category is Give It a Try. So these are events that we know we will not be doing on an ongoing basis. And usually that's for lack of space is the main reason, but we want to encourage people to try new things. So as it's called, give it a try. Try this out, and it might be something that you want to continue on your own, either at the gym, at your home, or something like that. Oftentimes, we will incorporate raffles into these just to try and spice it up a little bit, and also to encourage people to try something new. So some of the things that we've done for that are a hooping class with some weighted hula hoops. We did that a couple times, and we just had this one that the picture is in. This was recently, and you'll notice that we are actually in a conference room. So all we did is take our largest conference room and pushed all the tables and chairs aside, and we did that right in a conference room. We had a yoga, this was actually a short series that we did, and I want to touch on this one for a couple of reasons. One, our little area that is our exercise area that I showed you in a previous picture that had our treadmills and other machinery in it. This is the room that we were in, and thank you to the folks that helped us out for this series of moving those machines for every class that we had for 5 different classes. But it was something we knew couldn't be sustained ongoing, but it's still something that we could offer on a short-term basis, so that's what we did. But the other thing I wanted to call out about that is that the response from one of our employees who was trying out yoga for the very first time, and after this series said to us, "Yoga changed my life. I do it now at home with my daughter, and I had never tried it before." So that was extremely encouraging to us, and I hope that's encouraging to you if you try out some new things with your employees. We've gone for some group bike rides. This is another thing that can be done at various times to try and reach different shifts. So we've done that in the morning before work, we've done it at lunchtime, and we've done it after work to try and reach different folks. We've done some dance events here, including Zumba, belly dance, and yoga dance. And again, it's exposing people to new ideas, try something new. Maybe they'll never do it again, but they got out and did it that time, and maybe they'll enjoy it and decide that they want to do it some other time. This next one's a real fun one. I am a little bit sad because this is in our old building, so we don't have this one anymore. We should do this again. But we chose a heavy traffic area, and we used colored duct tape to make hopscotch on the floor. It was a fun thing. We did put up the hopscotch rules over on the side. However, we also had a sign that said, "Or just hop on your way by and have some fun," which is what a lot of us did. And it was just a fun idea to get people that were going to walk through there anyway to have a little bit of fun and move a little bit differently. We have had stability ball clinics. And again, we were in a conference room here, so making use of whatever space that we do have. This is another one that it was very low cost. It could have been free, but what we did is Stonyfield purchased some extra stability balls so that we could raffle them off at the end. And I wanted to include this picture. It's from a few years ago, but it was a great event that we had, which gave people a chance to try out different events all on the same day. So we had 5 different events that were set up, and participants got to choose 4 of them that they would do in 10-minute intervals. And people were, you know, all over the place, changing from this event to that event for 10 minutes at a time. It was a lot of fun. It didn't cost anything except the cost of some raffle items that we had and the balloons that you see there. So very low cost, but high energy, and got people to try new things that they had never tried before.
Another big one that we have is Munch and Learns. So this one, I mean, you can do this for free. We've had many local businesses come in and speak to our employees. And again, some of these Munch and Learns might only have 5 people, and we've had other that have had almost 25 in it or more. Some of them that we've done on site, we've had Keep Fit While You Sit, retirement planning, rent or own, weight loss, caring for aging parents, which was a popular one, and then estate planning as well. So various topics about, you know, from physical wellness all the way till financial wellness. And including one that everybody I think needs is stress reduction. You'll definitely find a large group in that one, and I think it's important for all of, you know, employees to attend, whether they feel stressed or not.
So these were a lot of ideas, and I hope it got you excited, but how do you get started now? We mentioned this before. You have to have your company and leadership buy-in for this. Showing their commitment to the team, their initiatives, not sending any mixed messages, permitting and encouraging membership on the team, and especially participation in events. Not having people feel like their manager is saying you should do this, but then not allowing them to actually participate in the event. We have had some feedback that sometimes our employees have felt like participation is frowned upon, or that the employee is feeling like it's frowned upon. And really, when you think about it, perception is their reality. So we want to make sure that leadership has it out there, that they are committed to this and that they are encouraging this and want people to participate. Our company actually did this in a big way this year, and the commitment was made in that it is tied to a bonusable objective for the whole company this year. So that's some really great company commitment to us right there.
Building a team, so, you know, a leader is essential. As we mentioned, it is not HR-led. Our committee is not. Chris leads our wellness team, and she does a fabulous job. And she's not in HR, so she really took it over. You know, building a team, it can start small and it gets bigger. You know, different meetings can be a little bit smaller and some can be bigger with the whole team. Find out what your employees are passionate about. Just talking to employees, seeing what they'd like to have on site, or even just talking to your employees. Like we mentioned, we have a Zumba instructor that works here, a dance yoga instructor that works here, a belly dance instructor that works here. Some of those things we never knew until we started talking to our employees. And, you know, that was completely free for them to lead other employees, you know, during one of those sessions.
As Ashley mentioned, you want to start small. Set reasonable expectations for yourself. We recently had a health and wellness fair, and we could tell you so much about this fair. It was a huge undertaking, and it was magnificent. And most of you are probably not in that place yet, and that's okay, but you can be in the future. So you just want to start with something small, set your expectations accordingly, and then build it from there, and it will grow. I'm telling you, it will grow. You do have to remember that your team members do have other responsibilities. And what we have done for that is that we realize it works really well for us is that we don't have full team meetings for every event. So once or twice a year, we'll have a full team meeting with the whole wellness team. But then throughout the year, for each event, we'll have a meeting just for those people who are going to be involved with that meeting. And that's up to them. If they want to be involved in that event or initiative, then they will come to the meeting that is for that particular event. And that helps to let people who want to be on the team, but not feel like I have to show up to so many meetings and I'm not even interested in Zumba or something like that. So it's really important to respect that they have other responsibilities and want to offer what they have to offer, which might just be for 1 or 2 events during the year.
Trial and error. So just remember, not everything works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't mean it's a failure. It's still a success. It just means that maybe you might not do it again in the future. Still having the employees that did show up for that event, you can see as they participate, the smiles and the laughs. I mean, people enjoy it. So it's not a failure. It's still a success. It just might not work out in the future. Try something new and just keep going with it. All different events are fun for the employees, no matter who participates.
So that's what we had for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed the information that we have shared with you. We love talking about wellness. I don't know if you got that from our voices. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them now.
So I want to encourage everyone to type in your questions either on the Q&A button or the chat. Molly will monitor that and let us know. But in the meantime, I do have a question for both of you. You had mentioned it's really important to get leadership buy-in to make these programs work. So coming from your experience and perspective, what would you tell listeners is the business case for getting started on a health and wellness program from Stonyfield's perspective?
Can I take that?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll start. Ashley can jump in if she wants. So first of all, I think it's helpful for us that it's part of the Stonyfield mission. So hopefully all companies will get to that point where it's part of their mission as well. But going further than that, if you take it to a level of insurance and other benefits, having healthy people is going to help your company in that way as well. So, you know, coming from that angle, in addition to that. Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm also wondering, and I may have missed this, do you allow employees to suggest different events and opportunities?
Oh, we absolutely do. We ask people to do that, give us ideas, and sometimes we can roll with them and other times it's just not feasible, but we are always open to ideas from the wellness team and from other employees who aren't even on the wellness team.
And how do you evaluate those suggestions then? Is that just something the team does, or does it get sent up for approvals?
Yeah, so no, it's the team that does it. Really, the approval is within the team itself, except if there would be a large cost or something like that. The feasibility portion of it is, do we have the space to do whatever's being suggested, and do we have the ability to do it? You know, does it require anything else? You know, a Zumba class doesn't require anything else on site besides the people. But if there's something that's being suggested, and actually I'll mention one that we could not move forward with, so you'll understand what I mean. Somebody asked us to have additional weightlifting equipment in our small exercise area that we have here on site. We did look into the costs of it and weren't sure if that was going to be an issue. We didn't even get as far as finding out whether or not the cost would be an issue because it just wasn't logistically feasible to fit what they were asking for in the room, as well as it needed to be mounted on a wall, and the wall in that room could not withstand it. So we had to say no.
Yep.
You know, but other people have, the belly dance class was something that, it was not somebody from our wellness team, but it was somebody who started working here, saw that we were doing events with the wellness team and said, hey, I do belly dancing, I'd love to do a class. And so we worked with her and did that.
Great. So another question we have, you mentioned having that gym room. Is there any process that you have to go through, some certification or hoops that you have to jump through in order to establish that space for your employees? Or it's
So
just,
do you,
I'm
not sure if you mean legally. So legally we do have a waiver that's posted on the walls in there. And I'm glad that you actually brought that up. That reminds me, for all of these events, our legal team has created a waiver that we print out for each of these events that we have people sign ahead of time, just to, you know, to say that employees are not required to participate in this event, and of course the liability for if they get hurt. But those are posted in the exercise area. Was that your question, or was it different?
Thank you.
That's It sounds like that might have been it. So I do, given the amount of time that we have left, it's 11:30. I'm sorry, we'll probably stop with questions, but I do want to let everybody know that Chris and Ashley have both agreed to share their emails, and so you'll get that information in your email tomorrow following the webinar. So thanks so much. And thank you, Chris and Ashley, for sharing your insights and experience. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
guys.
I also wanted to just quickly mention on November 7th, we're going to be holding our 5th annual award-winning Sustainability Slam. Always fun at LaBelle Winery. The foundation of this fast-paced and lively event are the great stories that are shared via our Just One Thing program. So that we hope that all of you that are in attendance, including Chris and Ashley, will take a moment or two to share a sustainability story that's had an impact at your company or organization. The deadline for the stories is the 30th of this month, not far away. And you only have to answer 3 short questions to submit your story. So go to nhbsr.org/JOT to submit yours and see what others have submitted in the past. You might be selected as a finalist to present at the Slam, and you don't have to be an NHBSR member to submit. So I also want to remind you, if you have any questions about today's presentations or have ideas for future topics, please make sure to share them with us. My contact, as well as Chris and Ashley's and Molly's, will all be available in the email you receive tomorrow. So thanks again for sharing your time with us, and our special thanks to Chris and Ashley for sharing their expertise today. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks.